After you reached an agreement with the village leader on the activities you want to do, you are good to go to have a deeper look in the waste management system of the village. This, it, the easiest way to kind of start is by just walk around. So go from one side to the other and have a look how households are disposing their waste, look into the gutter, look into the river. This is the first step you should kind of take. Then speak with as many stakeholders as possible. Speak with households, speak with shops, speak with restaurants, speak with old people, speak with children, with women, with men. So try to have views from different people as much as possible so that you have a better picture how everyone is feeling about waste and what they're actually doing about it. The activity itself will take you only around 2 hours. It depends how deep you want to go into the topic. And you should try to really cover the village as much as possible. Don't try to stay only in one place, but really try to move around everywhere. The people who are involved, it is really useful to have someone who can help you from the village. So, because they can introduce you to the households. When you want to go into a compound, you want to see maybe the kitchen or how they are disposing their food waste, then it is good to have someone to link you up so that you can easily speak with a person and get into the place. The activity will take you roughly 2 hours. It depends a little bit how deep you want to go in this analysis. You should try to cover the whole village. Don't look only in one place. Try to really see different places in the village. It for sure depends a little bit how big the village is, but try to cover as much space as you can. If you can, take someone along, someone from the community who can help you. That person can introduce you to the household, to a shop. He might be also be knowledgeable on places you want to visit, maybe like a bridge where people throw their garbage. So this helps you a lot during this activity. As materials, you should definitely have something to write. That is really important. And also take a camera along. It helps you afterwards to kind of remember the places you visited and how you could improve and work in these areas. Every observation starts on the road. Have a look around. Find places where people normally drop their garbage. Here in Yangshan, you can see very well people like to dispose of their waste just next to the bridge because they know the water will take it away. Also, in other places next to waterways, you can often see a lot of waste. Just have a look. Another very common place is actually the roadside gutter or sewage. Here you see often a lot of waste. In the case of Nyangshan, this is pretty clean because it is just after the rainy season. Very important also is the existing infrastructure. Are there waste bins on the road? What kind of vehicles is the community using? This is an important question for any setup of a waste collection system. See if these kind of vehicles might be an option. In Yangshan, they finally will decide for this three-wheeler. Next to the vehicles, have a look at the road condition. Can the road be used all year round? Is the road maybe very steep and only motorized vehicles actually can pass? Is the road wide enough for larger vehicles to move? All these conditions will finally decide what kind of collection system you are able to set up. Then look out for existing recycling activities. They might look different than what you expect. Here in Yangshan, they are using a motorcycle and the trader is buying recyclables in exchange for onions. The local climate and livelihood conditions are also something to consider. Yangshan is very humid and it is a tropical climate. Mostly the people are farmers, rice farmers specifically. But also because Nyanchang is close to the ocean, they have a larger fishing market next to it. Looking at local trading will also give you some insights on the consumption habits. Here they are using mainly mobile markets to sell local products. This can be either on a motorcycle or even on a bicycle. Then the only leftover waste we have to consider are actually only plastic bags. Next to these mobile markets, here we see only some small stores or restaurants selling local dishes. These livelihood conditions, to a certain degree, determine what kind of waste you will find in the village. After that, speak with a few households. Here you will meet a household in the neighboring village Zikong. Try to get inside and see how they are actually disposing their waste. Most of the waste is actually generated in the kitchen. So that should be the first place which you should try to observe. Here you can see very well that they are separating their waste. Actually, you see in this pink bucket everything which is finally going as pig food, and then you see in this more reddish bucket that this is waste which they are finally throwing away. The red bucket then is dumped in the garden. Here you see it is a mixture of all the garden waste, which is quite a lot, mixed with the waste which is then generated in the kitchen and has no other final disposal. Commonly, this waste is then burned at some point in the dry season. Other garden waste, however, is used as compost, as you can see here in this makeshift composter from old fishing nets. At this moment, you should be alarmed immediately. Why? On one side, they are burning their organic waste, and on the other side, they actually use it quite sustainably as compost. This might be something which can be improved rather easily. Upcycling activities are also very common in villages, and just have a look around and see how innovative they are. Your final destination is the local dump site. You should try to understand, on one side, what kind of waste arrives here. Here you can see a mix between a lot of organic waste and mainly then plastic. You should try to understand if they normally are burning the waste at the dump site. Then you would see often black burned material, ash on the ground. Also see how the waste is located. Here in Nyanchang, you see it is directly next to the rice field, so any form of leakage from the dump site is immediately going to the groundwater and then to the agriculture activities next to it. Also, the accessibility of the dump site is important. Is it close to the main road? If yes, can vehicles arrive there all year round? These are all the questions you should kind of look into when you arrive there. I want to focus only on one major challenge which I have encountered quite often during a village observation. And let me start by using an example. So guess you come from the urban area and you want to do a waste bin assessment. So when you go to the village and you're looking for green or orange bins, you go around and you don't find any. There is nothing. So your outcome is there are no bins in the village. However, the reality might be quite different. There are bins, just they use quite different bins. These are old gunny bags or boxes or crates, something like this. Also, in that moment, you have an image in your head how this infrastructure should look like, but in reality it is actually quite different. So this is often not matching. So you have this problem. And in that way you are making conclusions which might be not correct. Let me take another example. So as you see, just before in Zikong village, we have this small encounter where there is all the organic waste set under the tree. So that is a perfect composting system, but it might not fit with an image you have about composting, which might be windrow composting or something like this. So here as well, you might just walk past and what you see does not fit with the image in your head, and you say, okay, there is no composting in the village. And you would later come up with a solution which actually do not fit to what they do already and what they maybe have solved already. So here you need to be very, very careful that what you have in your head might be not how they actually solved it on the ground. There is no real easy solution to this. I can just recommend to keep an open mind, to be curious all the time, to ask questions as much as you can, and for sure to gather experience. So the more different local solutions you see, the easier it is for sure in the end to see, oh, that one is something like this and it fits into that. So the more often you are doing this, the easier it gets. Take your time and do not stop learning. So during the whole activities you conduct in the village, always keep on learning, keep the observation going throughout the whole activity, and then slowly you might learn more. You might even change your activity after some time. You say, oh, but you solved it actually already in a different way. So then be flexible and change.